information or visit our website to see the whole program schedule for July. Now, for the Castanet Clinic, there is limited to 25 spots, so make sure you send her an email to RSVP.
We'd like to thank you so much for joining us today at Beaufort County Television. You can view all programs on cable channels Hargray, Comcast Spectrum, and streaming live on BeaufortCounty.tv. You can also view all of our programming through the free BC TV app available on Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Beaufort County Television has also just launched a 24/7 Beaufort County traffic channel. So this channel shows the traffic cameras for over 50 live views of the most important and frequently used highways, streets, roundabouts, and busy intersections. And those are also available on all of the platforms that I mentioned a minute ago. The room is filling up. We are so excited that all of these wonderful residents are joining us for our 4 p.m. County Council meeting. If you're just tuning in, you can view all meeting packets, agendas, and more at our website. And we thank you for joining us on BCTV.
Yes, so in just 3 short minutes, we will be beginning our meeting. So thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the County Council meeting of Monday, July 15th, 2024. We have two members of council that are absent right now. That's Mr. Bartholomew and Mr. Lawson. Ms. Tabernick is online, and every other council member is on the dais. Therefore, we do have a quorum to conduct the business of council. Would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. After what happened Saturday, I had a different thought about our invocation. We haven't been together since before July 4th, and I found something that Billy Graham had written several years ago about Independence Day. And he said, "Our independence did not come easily. Only after several difficult years of war would it finally be won. Nor were our first years as a nation free from problems and controversies, as it is still true." Now, this was written back in 2020. But our forefathers were determined to establish a free and democratic system of government, and the Declaration of Independence, together with our Constitution and the Bill of Rights, became the foundation for this. They have stood the test of time, and on every July 4th, we give thanks for the wisdom and faith and courage of those leaders. Although it's not a religious holiday, like Christmas or Easter, for many Americans, July 4th is a time to reflect on God's goodness to use us as a nation. Molded into the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia are these words from the Bible: "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land, upon all the inhabitants thereof." That's from Leviticus 25:10. Our legal system reflects our Judeo-Christian roots. While we look with gratitude to the past on July 4th, may we also look in faith to the future and commit it and our lives to God as His will. The ancient words of the psalmist are, "Blessed is the nation whose God is love." That's from Psalm 33:12. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public notification of this meeting has been published, posted, and distributed in compliance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. Next is the approval of the agenda, and I would ask the members of council to allow me to change the agenda so that item number 13 will come after the approval of the minutes and before we go into executive session.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to change the agenda as
Suggested.
noted.
Yep.
Okay, is there any discussion?
I have two objections to the agenda last time. Mr. Chairman, you read a statute in the very beginning of the meeting, but it's not listed on the agenda. I just want to know if we should put that in as record.
A statute?
You read a statute about procurement?
I don't recall that.
Yeah, about the, what was it? Hiring an administrator, I believe. We followed all the guidelines, statutes, blah, blah, blah. You don't remember that? Anyway, I didn't see it on the agenda, and I thought it should be on there, just for the record.
Would that have been the June meeting?
It
It
might
was the
have.
last meeting.
Which would have been
Last county
June.
council meeting.
Okay.
Right, these are May
But that
meetings.
has nothing to do with what we're doing right now for this agenda.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, the approval of the minutes. I apologize,
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead on the agenda. Okay.
I skipped ahead of time.
Okay. Any discussion about this? The agenda will be amended to move item number 13 up without objection, and I see no objections. Therefore, now I ask for approval of the amended agenda.
So move, sir.
Moved,
Second that?
moved and seconded, duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, the agenda is approved as amended. Now we have the approval of the minutes.
Okay, I apologize, Mr. Chairman.
York,
Okay.
find that?
Okay.
Find that? Did you find that, which he was referring to?
No, I
You
was
just
just saying
read
it was
a
the June
note
meeting,
from
not
a
May meeting.
statute, that's
So I
all he
move for
did.
approval of the
And I was
minutes.
just, yeah.
The May 13th,
Yeah.
special call, council meeting on the 14th, May 15th, and the 16th. I move for the approval of those minutes.
Second?
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion?
There was one Scribner's area that has been corrected on the
Yes.
minutes of May 13th.
Yeah. Okay, any further discussion? The minutes will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Now we're going to move to item number 13. Item number 13 is a proclamation recognizing the Beaufort County Coroner, David Ott, as the South Carolina Coroner of the Year. And I will ask Councilmember Howard to read that proclamation. So if Mr. Ott will come forward.
And if you're, if all your
With as many of your guests that can fit in the front of the room.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Put them however you want.
Let me read it from here. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. This is a great honor here. Whereas David Ott was sworn into office of coroner in 2021 after serving as the chief deputy coroner since 2009. And whereas David's father was a U.S. Marine, received orders in late 1957 to Beaufort. Since then, David has been a proud Beaufortian, graduating from Battery Creek High School. David has proudly served the citizens of Beaufort County with the County Sheriff's Department and with the Beaufort City Police Department. And he was instrumental in solving multiple high-profile crimes until his retirement from those two departments. Whereas in 2023, David and his staff at the Beaufort County Coroner's Office were honored for being one of the 9 counties in the state of South Carolina to receive international accreditation, which indicates a desire for leading the way in service and compassion for those who serve and their community. Whereas David has been recognized as the 2024 South Carolina Coroner of the Year by the South Carolina Coroners Association. One of the accomplishments that led him to be awarded with this honor is all the work he and his staff put on reuniting 62 unclaimed cremains dating back to 1982. And I remember when you ran for office, you said you were going to get that done.
I did. We did.
You did, you and your staff. 27 unclaimed cremains were reunited with their loved ones. 30 unclaimed were buried in a crypt at the Forest Lawn Cemetery, which was purchased with the assistance of the Beaufort County government. 4 cremains received burials with military honors at the Beaufort National Cemetery, and 1 cremain was claimed by her synagogue and buried with her husband. And whereas Beaufort County Council appreciates the dedicated work of David Ott and the value and the pride and recognition he has brought to the Beaufort County Coroner's Office and his community, and now therefore be it resolved that Beaufort County Council hereby congratulates and honors David Ott by proudly acknowledging his reward and celebrating him as an exceptional public service who works tirelessly to assist grieving families while providing outstanding public safety services to the community. David Ott for being named 2024 South Carolina Coroner of the Year, dated today, the 15th of July, 2024.
Thank you.
Come over here for the picture, okay, please. Yep, gather up.
Come on in. Okay, Dr. Skipper up front, she's the shortest.
All right, everybody, good smile. 3, 2, 1. Remember this good smile. 3, 2. Oh, you're
Thank you so much. Y'all stay up there, stay. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the council, this is such an honor. Not for me, not for my people here standing to my left, who I can't do anything without, to the hard work and dedication from the county employees, to the great council. But I want to I want to receive this on Beaufort County on behalf of the citizens, because that's what we work so hard to do. Thank you so much.
Hey, Dave, could you do me a favor? Before everybody sits down, would you introduce us to your members of your staff before they all sit down?
Well, we can go through.
That'd be great.
I think I know his name. This is Andy McNeese. He's a retired Navy. He come to us 5 years ago, 6 years ago. How long?
3.5.
He does that good of a job. This is Dr. Joni Skipper. This is the only forensic pathologist in the state of South Carolina that is on a county salary. Very proud of her. Out there in the back, Sheldon Phillips, he is her assistant. He's the one that actually goes in and prepares the body, and he does the beginning of the autopsy. We stole both of them from GBI over in the Georgia area, and y'all can't see it, but there's handcuffs on both of them to my desk. Maggie Bauer right here, she comes from Clemson. Maggie, we're very fortunate to have her. She interned with us for one summer. She also interned for another college in the upper part of the state, York County, what was it?
York and Greenville.
Yeah. And then we just owed this young man here, Shane Bowers from Charleston County Coroner's Office. He comes to us with 5 years experience. And the one that I'm missing, she is in the dentist's office having an appointment, and that's my Chief Deputy Coroner, Debbie Yeomans. Council members, I think y'all see in the papers and all that, I will be retiring at the end of this year. Me and my lovely bride, my grandkids, I want to go see what's above Yamasee. Okay, there's got to be something above Yamasee. But I will tell you this, my Chief Deputy Coroner wins this election, which I think she will because no one's running against her. I asked and she said, I can't stay on as a volunteer, so y'all not getting rid of me. I'm just going to take a siesta and let somebody else run with it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will ask a member of the council to move and second for an executive session for the following items. Pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-470A2, discussion of matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, inquiries and investigations pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 4-9-660 HSB. Pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A1, discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, a student, or a person regulated by a public body, or the appointment of a person by a public body. Next, pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where the advice to a pending, threatened, or a potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, a personnel issue. Number 9, pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where legal advice relates to matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, the Defusky Island Ferry Service contract. And finally, pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, discussions of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements, the MOA proposed by the town of Hilton Head Island. May I have such a motion?
So move, sir.
Mr. McKellen made the motion,
I'll
Mr.
second.
Glover made the second, duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion? We will not be in executive session to finish all of these because we do know that time is of the essence for us to conduct business. We do not want you to wait around. We will probably be back a little after 5 o'clock with as many as we can. We'll let you know which ones we have discussed, which ones we will not have discussed, and finish the executive session after we conduct the business of council. Therefore, we are now in executive session. All right, we are back from executive session. As we indicated, we were not going to be in executive session all night. There are several items. We only discussed one item in executive session, and that was item number 6. Is there any matters arising out of executive session? Seeing none, we will be going back into executive session to redo the remaining items that were not discussed in the first executive session. We are now at item number 12, which is our administrator's report. Mr. Moore, the floor is yours.
This is his first report?
It is, welcome.
Yes.
First day.
Good afternoon, Council. It's my pleasure to stand before you today as your new county administrator. As I stated before, I'm humbled that you have placed this trust and confidence in me. I will continue to work and strive towards excellence. As I begin my 3rd week on the job, I look forward to serving the citizens of Beaufort County. Thus far, I've had the opportunity to tour the William Hilton Parkway Gateway Corridor Project, meet with 2 town managers, the school superintendent, our department heads, and attend a community meeting in Alljoy. I'm grateful for John Robinson's assistance over the past 2 weeks and assisted me in transitioning into this position, and for his efforts as the interim county administrator. Over the next several weeks, I look forward to further meetings and tours with county staff, town managers, elected officials, members of the delegation, and of course, with each of you, subject to your schedules. Get out and see your districts. With that said, I plan to continue the practice of recognizing our county employees who work hard to provide services every day to our citizens. And with that, I would like to first recognize Vanessa O'Donnell, if Vanessa is here. There she is.
Nice to meet you.
So Vanessa works for Beaufort County Facility Management. You've been with the county 18 years?
Yes.
It's a long time. Your duties include overseeing the day-to-day operations of the maintenance office. Includes managing all contracts for various services and vendors, as well as coordinating life safety inspections for all county buildings to ensure compliance with relevant regulations. That's a lot of work. Sounds like it. She is also responsible for processing accounts payable and handling payroll for the department's employees. Additionally, she manages an operating budget of $6.5 million and a capital improvement budget of $2.1 million, tracking expenses and making adjustments as needed to ensure that the department stays within budget. I'm going to share something unique about you. So you're married with 3 sons and a grandson. You love being outdoors on the beach or in the mountains. You're also a huge lover of animals, especially cats. It's great. Vanessa loves watching basketball and her favorite team, Kentucky Wildcats. All right. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Wait, we have to take a
Gotta
picture.
get a photo. Gotta get a photo, Vanessa.
Okay.
Come on up.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to go to Carolyn Wallace. There she is. Carolyn's with the Capital Improvement Projects. Your title is Capital Improvement Project, or CIP Program Manager. And you've been with the county for 23 years. That's impressive. Your duties include managing the fiscal and administrative aspects of the CIP program, including compiling and administering the over $200 million CIP plan. You spent 22 years as a stormwater business manager, and since then you've been promoted to this role where you're currently as the program manager. And you spent the last year evaluating the operation of the capital budget process and implemented processes and procedures to improve the efficiency, accuracy, and transparency. Shares over 23 years of experience in governmental accounting, policies and procedures, and 30 years of experience in financial management and data analysis. And you are the glue that keeps the department together and thriving. Now, something unique about Carolyn. You served 8 years in the Marine Corps Reserve. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You graduated from Winthrop University, which is an area where I just left, and earned your certification as a government finance officer. You have 4 children, 3 grandchildren, and you love spending time with your family. It's great. And you love to travel, view nature, and historical sites. You're active with your church organization on both the local, regional, and national levels, and you're excited about starting your travels with foreign mission field.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Okay, we now have Pamela. There's Pamela. Hello.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I'm meeting people here as I go along, so.
So are we.
I'm getting there, I'll get there. You're with the assessor, and your position title, you're the deputy assessor.
I am.
Yes, so you really make the things happen, that's how it works. Your length of service is 26 and a half years. Wow, that's great. 3 years with the Beaufort County School District and 22 and a half years with Beaufort County Administration. Thank you. Pamela began her career with the assessor's office as a real property transfer clerk and progressed through the ranks to the Department of Deputy Assessor. You hold a Bachelor of Science degree in management and manage 13 staff members in daily operations. Responsible for operations within the assessor's office that cover legal residency exemption applications, all real property deed transfers, mapping, listing mobile homes, and customer service for both the Beaufort, Bluffton offices. I'm probably going to be come seeing you next month on some of those items. And something unique about you, Pamela, is you're a world traveler and you own Heritage Travel of the Low Country.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Wow.
And that concludes my report.
Well, thank you very much. We are at our first citizen comment section. We have one person who has signed up to make a comment about item number 18. Donald, would you come forward, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Oh, you want me to start first? I purchased a property off a tax sale, and it's a county road, and they want to sell it back to me. They want to buy it back from me, I'm sorry. They want to buy it back for me for the appraisal part. But I don't want the appraisal part, I want the value of the property. And that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Can I ask one more question?
No.
No.
It's coming up for discussion. It's on the agenda.
Is there anybody that we can refer to and staff to
It's on the
have them
agenda.
discuss that a little further? Sorry?
No, you can't discuss it with Ebony.
It's item number 18, we'll have discussion on it.
Yeah.
Legal department.
Yeah, it will be referred to our legal department.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to speak to the legal department.
Yeah, you'll need to speak to the legal department.
Okay. That's over here? Yes. Now, or?
It's my understanding that there's been a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
You can call us, not right now, we're in the middle of a meeting, but we'll give you a number.
Okay. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the citizen comments and go to our liaison and committee reports. And
I
Ms.
have
Howard, you
something.
wanted to speak first.
Sure. The Beaufort Memorial Hospital is having an event July 22nd at 4:30 at the offices at 990 Reebok Road. Hank is, I'm sure, going to be there, and others. They're opening up the new school for nursing that the county and the city and the hospital work together on. And the hospital had their board meeting last week and also had a meeting with Senator Davis. There's a new committee that they have formed for legislative relations, and I attended that meeting too. I attended the City of Beaufort's workshop last Tuesday. They are working on their list of projects if the referendum passes for their $10 million, and they have requested that more information from our engineering section on things that would be eligible and things that wouldn't be. So they are ready to go when the time is, if the referendum passes. That's my report.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Joe Crowley. He was a wonderful gentleman that used to sit in the back corner there. And I was elected in June of 2022, and I came to county council to say that I was looking forward to working with everybody up here. And he came to me and he said that I was his council, I was gonna be his council representative, and he wanted to go to lunch, and he said to me at lunch, he said, if you take away two things from this meeting, it's no 5B and no Willow Run. But he's sorely going to be missed. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person, and I just want to acknowledge his passing.
Thank you. Any other comments from council liaison reports? Okay, we're going to move on to the public hearings and action items. The first one is the approval of our consent agenda, the 7 items on there. A motion and second, please.
So moved.
Mr. Dawson makes the motion.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Howard makes the second, duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, the consent agenda will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Item number 17 is approval of a resolution authorizing the county administrator to accept an infrastructure planning grant from the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority, known as RIA, for the Aljoy community. A motion and second, please.
So moved, sir.
Mr. McKellen makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Glover makes the second. Duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, this will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Item number 18 is approval of a resolution authorizing the county administrator to pursue condemnation on parcel R200-011-000-007 associated with Shepherd Road, Causeway, and Dock Builders Drive on Ladies Island. A motion, please.
So moved.
Mr.
I'll
Cunningham
second
made the
it.
motion, and
I'll second it.
Ms. Tabernick made the second.
Who made the motion?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And, Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna have to recuse myself from this vote as I did the first time.
Gotcha. Okay, duly motioned and second. Discussion.
Anyone on staff going to be talking about this?
This, Mr. Dawson.
Yes, this is the item that Mr. Middleton just referred to, and we referred him to staff.
Yep.
So I would ask that we postpone taking any action on this until staff has had the opportunity to converse with Mr. Middleton and bring this back to us to see exactly what comes out of that discussion.
The discussion can be no more than what we've already done, and that is the appraised value.
I will say there has been discussions going on. This was in my committee actually a couple weeks ago. Discussions have been made, attempts to purchase the property haven't been made, but they are far off on the price. And what we have done at the county, and we've always done at the county, is offered appraisal value. And from my understanding, we're close to 10 times appraisal value is the request.
Yeah.
And the appraisal value is the value of the property. That is the value of the property. So the statement said was, I want the value of the property. That's what an appraisal is the value.
Appraisal is the market
of-
value of the property.
Yeah.
According to the information we received in our packet, it talked about a land swap versus a price for purchasing the land. And basically, as I understand it, Mr. Middleton was offered the county did the appraisal and came up with the $10,000 value and offered that to Mr. Middleton. And according to our package, Mr. Middleton refused that and hadn't offered any other suggestion as far as a settlement or price. So my thing is, okay, if he owns the property, He bought it off the sheriff sale. He owns the property. He offered the county to buy it. And we are at a stalemate as far as offering him a price that he desired. Then why are we condemning it? I mean, he owns the property. We were maintaining the road when the prior owner had the property. He bought the property off of sheriff's sale. So why don't we just continue maintaining the roads? I mean, what is the issue that we have to buy the property from the sheriff's sale?
From my understanding, I believe there were conversations of closing the property off from the other roads, that the other citizens on the property.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Any other discussion?
Just a quick question. When government comes up with appraisals, are there 3 appraisals made and then the average is decided on, or is it just one appraisal? What's the process?
one.
Just
One appraisal?
Well, each side gets an appraisal.
Yeah.
So there've been 2 appraisals?
Well, I don't know what the appraisal is done.
Does anybody know?
My knowledge, he has not obtained an appraisal.
Okay. So if condemnation is approved, what's the next step? What happens? Condemnation is approved, what's the next step? And then what happens?
And then at that point, the county would be hiring an outside attorney to provide representation in the condemnation action. He'll receive an additional notice, at which point we will notice him through the courts. He has a 30-day period to question the validity of the condemnation act, which is for purposes of a private road.
Yeah.
And at which point, once that 30 days has been exceeded,
Mr. Chairman, can you have, I'm sorry to interrupt, can you have,
Tab.
come to the mic,
Mr. Chairman, can you have,
please?
Brittany?
My real,
Yeah, Brittany.
my real question, Brittany, was, when a condemnation occurs, is there a payment then made to the owner of the property? And how do you arrive at that value? When a condemnation occurs.
Yes, sir. Once the condemnation has been initiated, the county is required to deposit funds into the clerk's office, the clerk of courts, for the appraised value. You will then go through the process of the Condemnation Act, and at the end of the day, the price is
Can you mute,
negotiated.
please?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
At which point, the 2 sides would come to the court to determine what the appropriate value is for the property.
Right, so the appraised value essentially would then be paid to the owner of the property when condemnation takes place, but the title changes to the county.
That is correct.
Okay, so there is a compensation paid, it's not just.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing that this is probably a little contentious, would you please call the roll on this?
What's the motion?
Motion is to authorize the county administrator to pursue condemnation.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cunningham?
Yes.
Councilmember Tabernick?
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham? Councilmember Reitz?
no?
Councilmember Howard?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Glover?
Yes.
Councilmember Dawson?
No.
Councilmember Brown?
No.
Councilmember Dawson? Vice Chair McKellen?
Yeah.
Councilmember Brown? Sorry. Chairman Passmore?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Item number 19. I ask for a
I'm on here,
motion.
this is Mark, and I say yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
All right, you're going to have to be on, Mr. Lawson. We do not see you, so therefore we didn't know you were there.
I'm here.
In spirit at the moment.
Yeah.
Is anybody else on with us?
Oh, there he is.
Okay, moving on to number 19. I would ask for approval of a resolution to accept FAA BIL Airport Terminal Program Grant in the amount of $5 million for HXD terminal improvements.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Reitz makes the motion.
Second.
Mr. McKellen makes the second, duly motioned and second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, this will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Item 20 is approval of a resolution to accept FAA grant funding for the Hilton Head Island Airport Taxiway F Rehabilitation Project contingent upon final FAA offer.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Reeds
I'll
made
second
the
that.
motion. Mr. Cunningham made the second, duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion?
Just a question. Did we, I know this is contingent on a grant, but I only see construction listed as APAC. Is that the only, was it, I'd just like a little more details about that, the bidder.
Yes. It is my understanding that when you are bidding on these projects, only certain vendors are eligible to bid on these projects
I understand
because
that.
of being a runway,
I understand that.
and they are,
No other bidders, though?
No.
They were the only bidder on this
yeah,
project.
they were the only bidder.
How long was it advertised?
The normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember in the committee meeting, there
Yeah,
were
right.
really only two
There's only two people
eligible
that
contractors,
are
right?
close to us, yes.
Yes.
I understand
close
that,
to
but
us,
only
yeah.
one bid, only one bid.
Yes, but there's only two people that were eligible,
Yep.
Okay,
and only one of them submitted it.
okay.
And Alice, we asked those questions in committee.
Yeah,
We
I
had the
was
same
there. I'm
concerns.
just asking
Yeah,
them
no,
again
I
for the
appreciate you
public.
For
doing
the
it.
public.
Yeah, for the public to
Good
know why
question.
we only have one bidder.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we duly motioned and seconded. Any other discussion?
I like to just say that back when I first started here, the Transportation Committee Chairman had explained about Apex, because they're about like the only company around that can do this kind of work. That's why we only probably got one bid. I just want to put that out there.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, this will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Item 21 is the approval of a resolution to accept FAA grant in the amount of $137,209 for HXD airfield drainage improvements, design and bidding contingent upon final FAA offer.
So moved.
Mr. Reeds makes the motion.
Second.
Mr. Cunningham makes the second, duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, this will be approved without objection, and I see no objections. Item number 22 is approval of an updated meeting calendar. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Cunningham made the motion and Mr. Dawson made the second. Duly motioned and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I still would like to go on the record that I think 5 o'clock is too early for working people to get here for a meeting. But, you know, when we discussed it during our retreat, that was brought up, and I seem to be the lone voice of disagreement.
No, I agree with you too.
But the towns meet anywhere from 6 to 6:30.
Well, do you want to make a
I
motion?
agree with that too. This is Tabernac, because people at the south of the Broad can't get here by 5. It just eliminates all of those people.
You want to make a motion now?
To amend it?
Well, what would be the suggested time to start? I'd have to
Yeah,
make a
you'd have to have a motion and second first.
I make a motion that we start county council meetings at 6 o'clock.
I'll second that.
Okay. Duly motioned and second to start county council meetings at 6 o'clock. Discussion.
I would just say if we are gonna go down that road, then we should push our committee meetings back as well, an hour.
At 4 o'clock
I mean,
instead.
if we're gonna push the county council meeting back an hour, there's no point in us starting our meeting at 3. If they usually end around 4:30 or 5.
Do you
if
want
we're
to
gonna
amend
have
the
that.
motion to that effect?
I mean, I would think that would be an amendment to your motion if we did both of them, which I would be open to have for discussion.
I have a question about this. When we've approved the updated meeting calendar, does that include more meetings in other areas than in this room, Sarah?
No, sir. It was just swapping 2 committee meetings, public
Yeah.
facilities and
Okay,
finance.
so as part of this, if we're going to start this at 6 o'clock, when would we address the issue of geography so we can get out of here more often and into the field more often? A separate motion, a separate time, and just deal with the start?
Oh, yeah, you.
Okay, so let's
we
leave
have-
that, but let's consider it, because if there are people who are having trouble traveling to attend the meeting, and we have a meeting starting in south of the Broad, then anyone from here who wants to get there is gonna have trouble getting there as well. But at least then people south of the Broad can come, because they don't have to come here. So we should go to St. Helena, and we should go to Bluffton, and we should go to Hilton Head, and we should come here.
Sure.
And wherever else we should go to have these meetings.
I agree with you too.
Okay, so, topic for another day, but something we should consider.
So let me ask you this, should the conversation be for the new year calendar and not this calendar? Because I know at the beginning of the year, we do discuss certain locations to do meetings. They just happen to be front heavy on the calendar and not year round, which I'm open to. I'm just asking, is this something that we should get discussed and handled to start for 2025? Or is this a motion that we do want to change for the rest of this year? Because the only reason this is actually even coming up today, this calendar ends in December. It's only coming up because we're swapping mine and Mark's committees because of the structure.
I disagree, we talked about it during the retreat.
Correct, but I'm saying the only
Changing
reason the discussion to have the opportunity to change the time right now is because me and Mark
It's a
are.
new fiscal year too. It's a new fiscal year. I mean, we
a
just
fi- new-
started it.
It's a
Yeah.
new
July.
fiscal year,
Mhm.
but not fiscal year. Calendar year, we're still in the same year. Our schedule comes out for county council meetings January through December.
Are locations fixed then?
Locations are usually done at that exact same time. I know we had a couple meetings last year and this year. This year we did not. Last year we did. We had a meeting in Bluffton, Hilton Head, I believe it was Burton Wells and St. Helena. Yes.
Yeah, the library.
Which I'd like to see more as well. I'm just saying, is this a conversation we should do to change for the last 5 months of the year or 4.5 months of the year? Or is this something that we want to make sure that is addressed January 1?
Well, question, will we even need to vote on it if we could, as long as we advertise properly? can
We would
just go
not.
ahead and- We wouldn't have, we could just advertise for it,
Not
right?
for next year, no, because that calendar would be
Well, I'm saying
probably
for
submitted
the
in December.
remaining, for the remaining calendar.
Oh, I don't know that.
But to Logan's point, I think if we're going to make a substantive change as this and also consider the different meeting locations, I think we should draft that to start at the new year, at the beginning of the new year, rather than do it in mid-session right now.
Time adjustment as well?
I agree, Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm all for changing the time. I just think it's more beneficial to do it.
January.
And as far as the time, changing the time, I don't have a problem with changing time. I've been on council long enough to see us switch from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock, from 5 o'clock back to 6 o'clock, so that we can get more people to come to the meetings, but that hasn't proved to actually justify itself as of yet.
I only remember changing it to 5 o'clock within the last 2 years. I don't remember meeting.
Yeah, well, I said, I've been on council.
Yeah, I've been on, yeah, I've been on 20 years. I've only been on 9.5.
So do we need another amendment to the amendment? We take them one at a time. In other words,
Well-
6 o'clock, but you want to start it in January. So we have 2 amendments to this.
I would think we wouldn't even need to make any amendment to it if we're doing it in January, because that calendar would come before us probably in December for us to vote on. So,
We only meet once in December.
correct?
Yeah,
And once in November.
and once in November. So I think we should vote on it. in
Which is on a
November.
Tuesday.
So yeah, you're talking about a meeting in August, 2 in September, 2 in October, 1
So are
in
you
each
voting?
November and
Are
December.
you voting to change it at the next meeting, or are you going to withdraw your
I'll
motion
change my
and do it in
motion.
November?
I'll change my motion that we vote in November for the January calendar for the time. Start time for committees, and I'll withdraw my previous motion and make a motion that at the November meeting, we vote on time start for committees and time start for county council meetings
And for locations?
and locations.
Okay.
All three.
Okay, so that's.
And is that okay with the second?
We're
Is that
gonna
okay
bring-
with the second, whoever seconded it?
Who seconded my motion?
That was me, I think.
No.
Yep, I'm okay
David?
with that.
David, I think it was David.
Yeah, fine, second.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
so we have
Back
a
to the vote.
amendment on the floor to approve the updated calendar as is, but at our November meeting, to have a discussion of changing both the times and locations for the county meetings and changing the times of the committee meetings.
I'll second that.
Calendar year 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second. You
Well,
made that, right?
that's my summarization of exactly what was said,
Yeah.
Right.
okay? Everybody understands?
Yeah, I understand, I just don't know, the document's not even created, so we're amending a document that doesn't exist yet. So really, we don't have to make any amendment, we just have to tell Sarah, hey, put it for 6 o'clock and 4 o'clock.
No, they're agreeing to amend the existing calendar to flip your committee meeting, I think.
Yeah.
Right, but that's already done, that's the document here, so that's not an amendment. That's just approving what's here. Right, but we don't need an amendment, we just need to instruct Sarah, to say, hey, when we do the calendar,
I'm
6
just-
o'clock and 4 o'clock.
There was an amendment on the floor. I'm just reiterating what the amendment is. I agree with you. We really don't have to do that. We just have to approve this calendar, and now administration understands when the next calendar is being proposed, we're gonna have change in time for the county council meetings and change in venue for the county council meetings, to be determined by council, time and place, but also the times for the committee meetings.
Right.
In November.
Yeah, well, that's when the calendar comes up for us. So you can either withdraw your motion and second, and we know what we're gonna do, because administration now knows what the desire is, or we vote on it this way.
I'll withdraw it as long as everyone remembers in November what we're
Yeah,
doing.
well, since this is recorded, I doubt seriously anybody's gonna get away with it otherwise.
Don't worry, Tab will read those minutes, she's got the time.
Yes. All right, so now, the motion on the floor is the approval of the updated meeting calendar.
Do you withdraw your second?
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the approval of the updated calendar will be made without objection, and I see no objections. Yes. Okay, we are now at our second citizen comments, and we have 3 people who wish to speak. And that would be Deb Smith. You can speak first, or do you want Cade to speak first?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to withdraw my request to speak.
Okay. Mr. Yarborough, do you wish to speak?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Beaufort County Council. My name is Cade Yarborough, Chair of the DeFusky Island Council. Regarding the ferry issue, I hope you all have received our council's statement about the county notice of noncompliance that was to the ferry operator. This was just the first step in correcting many of our problems relating to our current ferry service. But it was an important first step. And we are grateful for Mr. Moore and those of you who have been working on this to get us to this point. Since your last meeting, we've made progress with developing DeFusky Community Building and the beach bathrooms. We continue to appreciate the assistance of Hank Amundson and Councilman Lawson with these projects, and look forward to hosting Hank tomorrow when he comes over to the island to look at the prospective sites for both of these resources. Of course, we continue to be concerned about the expected closing of Hutchinson Island barge service, and I will be keeping you informed as developments occur. I'd like to talk to you about a process matter. As we look back at our lessons learned from the ferry situation and look ahead at the challenges of the Fusky issues, we are recommending to be more constructive in a way of communicating with your committees and with the staff on issues when they're in the development stages. As one example, a major problem with our community and with the current ferry is the operator's freedom to raise fees without limitation. This has caused a great deal of hardship for our ferry riders, and had fee guidelines been included in the RFP and in the contract, we would be in a much better position now. So our council's ask to you and Mr. Moore is that we work together in a process for our members to be able to provide input and staff and committees about issues impacting DeFusky, including any RFP or contract that is in the development stage. Certainly, the ferry contract is key, but there are other issues regarding infrastructure projects. Thank you for your consideration. We value our role as the county's advisor on DeFusky matters. We appreciate your continued attention to these issues impacting our community. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kate.
Carrie Major.
Good evening, and thank you, council, for this opportunity. Again, I'm Carrie Major. I just want everyone to know that I've been sent. I'm on assignment. I hadn't said that before, but I've been told this time to say that. I don't come in my name, I come in the name of the Lord. And I want you to know that I found a note in 2020, and it said, build a community and youth center. And this is something that was in there for a long time, and several times before that. But this time the Lord said, now's the time. Now's the time to move on it. So I met and I told a few people about it, and I just wanted to hear that I wasn't crazy, that this was a goal or something that can be accomplished. So I went to a few people, my pastor for one first, then I went to Al Gardner, Representative Rivers, Councilman Glover, and many others, a bunch of friends that I have who will back me in doing whatever that needs to be done, because we all love our community and we love our children. So that's what it's all about. It's not even about me. And the group that we formed was called Vision 2020. And the ultimate mission and vision of that group is the state-of-the-art center on St. Helena Island for our youth and for our community. And I'm asking council that you will align with the request and goal of the people of St. Helena, because there is no center with amenities that are in other places. And I was told before that because of the taxes that they pay in Bluffton and Hilton Head, that's why they have the facility at Buck Walter, but we pay taxes also. I pay a lot of taxes. But St. Helena is a part of Beaufort County, and these dollars that were allocated, I think I saw something in the newspaper, could not remember, to bring it, that there were monies allocated for a lot of things, but there was nothing for St. Helena listed on that sheet. So as a part of Vision 2020, we need justice to be done. And as who I am, my title is Prophetess Major. Our children are our greatest asset. Please. And we do not want to lose them again. We want to watch out for our youth in the community, not only St. Helena, but Ladies Island. So I ask that you all do right. I know that the Lord is our resource, but He allowed some of you to be stewards of the resources, not for self-gain, not for political prowess, but for the need of the people who are your constituents. Thank you so very much, and this came directly from the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else before we go back into executive session? Seeing none, we'll close the second public session. I'm going to ask for a motion and second to go back into executive session to finish the following items pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-470A1. Discussion of an employee appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, a student, or a person regulated by a public body, or the appointment of a person to a public body. Pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where the advice to a pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, a personnel issue. Pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A2, receipt of legal advice where legal advice relates to matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, the Defusky Island Ferry Service Contract. And finally, pursuant to South Carolina Code 30-4-70A2, discussions of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements, the MOA proposed by the town of Hilton Head. May I have that motion, please?
So move, sir.
I'll second.
Mr. McKellen made the motion and Mr. Cunningham made the second. Duly motion and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're back in executive session. We will return as soon as we possibly can. I'm hoping no later than 6:30. Being optimistic, it's more like 7 o'clock, at which time there may be matters arising out of executive session. We are in executive session. All right, we're back from executive session, and I'm going to inform you of some things that took place in our executive session. Under item number 7, which was a discussion of employment, we received reluctantly the announcement that Mr. Tom Kevaney is retiring from his service after a 39-year career. And so we are deeply grateful for the exceptional service and unwavering dedication Mr. Kevaney has provided the county in all of his years of service. We're going to miss him. We wish him well in his future endeavors, and thank you very much for your service. In item number 9, the Defusky Island Ferry Service. As you know, a letter was sent to the ferry service provider indicating that he needed to do some things. He has responded with a plan. That plan is now being evaluated to see if it's going to meet the requirements for the contract. As we get more information, we will let the public know where the stance is of that. And the final item is the MOA proposed by the town of Hilton Head. It is a very thorough, lengthy document that has several pages and descriptions in it. It is being evaluated to ensure that it meets all of the state requirements that we have to meet. We certainly do want to have a working relationship with Hilton Head regarding the movement of this project. It's been a long time coming. It is not going to happen overnight. It is a lengthy process to go through. We're only 30% designed at this point in time. We have 70% to go. There's a lot of steps to go further, but we look forward to working with Hilton Head on the MOA. No further action being before this august body. We are now adjourned at 6:41 p.m.
You too.